Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime. For today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank. This is Hail Southern live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern athletics, including a visit with head football coach Clay Helton. Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. It pays to bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. And by Optum Orthopedics, the official orthopedic care provider to Georgia Southern Athletics. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again one more time back inside Wild Wing Cafe, just a fair road in Statesboro. This is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. It is a busy week across Georgia Southern athletics. It is the beginning of overlap season. In fact, at the Hill, it's the season opener for Georgia Southern women's basketball. And at the moment, Hannah Hayden's squad leads Central Michigan 42-32 at the half. Destiny Garrett has a game-high 14 points. Eagles are 7 of 16 from three-point territory. The men will get things started tomorrow night up in Greenville, North Carolina, against the East Carolina Pirates. That's a 7 o'clock tip from Minges Coliseum. We will be live at 6:30 with the Cutwater Spirits countdown to tip-off. It's hate week for Georgia Southern football. Thursday night up in Boone, all-time meeting number 41 between Georgia Southern and App State. 7:30 kick, nationally televised on ESPN2. We're live at 5:30. Going to speak with head coach Clay Helton in just a little bit. Also, Michael Ellis from the Athletic Foundation previewing the True Blue Tailgate. Also, a couple announcements coming out from GS Athletics over the last few days. But we begin tonight with Georgia Southern swimming and diving, about to transition into the winter portion of their schedule. This time, please welcome in year 2, leading swimming and diving head coach Morgan McCafferty to Wild Wing Cafe.
Okay.
Great to have you. Thanks for being on tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, what's it been like going from year 1 to year 2, leading your own program?
Oh, it's been amazing. You know, bringing in our own girls, and the team has really bought into what we're doing in the pool and on the boards as well. You know, we had a record-breaking year last year with like 7 school records and a couple pool records as well.
It's one thing to take over a program, but when you're trying to instill your culture, how did you go about that when a year ago, you were trying to learn everybody's names and everybody's faces.
Yeah, no, that was very tough. This year has been a lot easier that way. You know, we actually know our girls coming in, and the fact we've been able to recruit the girls that we want. You know, we're building that relationship a year before they get in here, which is really nice. It just took a lot of patience. You know, our seniors and juniors last year, or seniors this year as well, they've been through 3 head coaches, and it's been really exciting, really cool to watch them just buy into what we're doing.
You were a standout performer at the University of Nebraska, academic All-Big Ten. You came to Statesboro from Idaho. Talk about the Kibbie Dome. We love the Kibbie Dome. But you were an assistant up in Moscow. How do you use your experience as a competitor and as an assistant coach to help you now as a head coach?
Really just like the decision making. You know, being a little bit younger, I can kind of play back onto what I went through as a student athlete, and really what I learned from my former boss at Idaho. 2 very different programs, but it's really cool that I'm able to pull from 2 vastly different programs in the way that they run that.
Putting together this fall and winter schedule, what did you want to make sure that you got accomplished for this year?
I wanted them to swim against really good competition and dive against really good competition. You know, swimming, we're off to a really good start. You know, with some event wins from freshmen and best times already from freshmen that, you know, they're going like top 2 best times.
How would you describe what a practice looks like?
Every practice is very different. This last week was a very hard week. Before that, we were kind of building up into that. But really, it's like 2 hours in the pool going back and forth with what we do. And off the boards is about 3 hours as well. We have a new trampoline, which is exciting for diving. Yeah. Brand new toys to play with, and it's really enhanced their training abilities as well.
That's something a few weeks back that got featured on social media. I know it was you had told me that you were going to get the trampoline and you wanted to be a surprise for the girls, but specifically for the diving portion, what does the trampoline allow you to improve and enhance when it comes to diving?
Body control is huge with diving, very technical sport. So if they're able to do that on the trampoline, it's easily transferable to the boards.
Putting together the transfer class in addition to what you had coming back with Carson being a senior, with Carly being a senior, but I know you were hyped up about your transfer class this year.
Yeah. Sterling has been a great addition to that distance program, and then she won the 200 fly at the Osprey Invite a couple weekends ago. That was really cool, and she hasn't swam that event in 2 years.
That's crazy.
I know. And Victoria Santino, she came in from West Virginia, and she went 20 seconds faster in the 500 freestyle at her first meet than she was going last year. So,
with Sterling winning an event that she had not participated in at an event for 2 years, is that a you find out day of, or was there any time mentally to get prepared for, you're going to have to do this when we get there?
She actually asked for it.
Okay.
When she hit the transfer portal and we were on the phone, our first call, which she actually committed on the first call, one of the things that she wanted to do was swim butterfly and go back to that 200 fly, just mix it up a little bit. Distance can get very monotonous when you're swimming 66 laps total for about 17 minutes straight in the race.
How much of what the team does is mental, whether you're talking diving or the swimming portion?
100%. It's very, very much mental. You have to have that mentality to get after hard practices, to know that this next hour and a half is going to be mentally and physically grueling, and you just have to keep going back for it every day.
Was there a moment when you got here, after you got announced, where you could have been driving into town, you could have gone into your office, you could have gone over to the rack, you met your team? Was there a moment where you realized, I'm a head coach for the first time?
Yeah, really, it was like probably 3 weeks in, just at the pool practicing, like, oh my gosh, like this is on me.
Getting a little bit deeper into the winter, what will be the points of transition to get you guys even farther and get you closer to your goals?
Yeah, so Emory this weekend, our divers are going for 2 days. Friday and Saturday they compete. After that, we have the Columbia, South Carolina mid-season meet for our swimmers. That's Tuesday through Friday, November 18th through the 21st. And then dive is going up to Liberty University for their diving invitational as well. And really, that's just a bouncing off point. There's 2 different kinds of rests that you take in swimming in a season. One is typically in November. The other one is right before conference. That's in February. So this is really just to see where we're at the past 2.5 months, to see what's culminated from that, and just a kind of a jumping off point into what we're going to do over winter training and into the months ahead.
Now, when you and I spoke for Inside Eagle Nation podcast recently, going into a new conference this year, participating in the Atlantic Sun, so what kinds of things have you had to gear up or brace for as you go into a new league?
Really just being able to compete in the morning. You know, we went from, only top 24 make it back for finals. So we have to be able to compete, you know, make it back in the prelims. That's about 10 a.m. start. That's something that we struggled with a little bit last year, but we've changed up our training regimen for the swim side, and Friday mornings, you know, that's when we have one of our harder practices with race-based testing, stuff like that. And before that, on Thursday evening is when their hardest lift is of the week. So if they're able to, you know, compete through that and race each other through that, like, we're going to be really in a really good spot.
Now, through your experience as a competitor, as an assistant, you know what works. You've got the tried and true methods, but now as a head coach, how much more have you had to be able to adapt to see what else can and will work?
Oh, a lot more. And, you know, my assistant, she actually swam for me for 3 years at Idaho, which has been really cool. I brought her with me. So being able to just bounce ideas off of her as well, because she also has a really good club background from where she came from in Colorado. Being able to just bounce off ideas, you know, try to find different ways to do things. You know, like last year when we were out for a week, we lost we only had one meet in the first half, so we had to do a lot of race strategy. You know, we had our distance kids going miles in practice, which you don't really do that. You know, we had our girls going every Saturday leading up to mid-season, different races that they were going to do, 200 and above. Just to kind of get that pacing idea and feel what racing feels like.
All right, if we speak again sometime this spring, what are we going to say about what this year became for your crew?
I really think it's a turning point. You know, it's been a really, really good first couple months, and just the hard work and the work ethic that I've seen and my assistants have seen from across the board. And just being able to bring in, you know, some really good girls. We're signing 8 this coming, I think next Tuesday it is, the 12th of November is signing day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. But no, I think it's going to be just like a brand new program when we're finished with this season.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight here on Hail Southern Live. Best of luck the rest of this calendar year, and especially going into January.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you.
That is swimming and diving head coach Morgan McCafferty here from Wild Wing Cafe. We turn the page. Football after this timeout. Clay Helton comes up on stage. It's Hate Week. It's Eagles and App State coming up on Thursday. We'll talk about that on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, don't sacrifice your comfort. Ogeechee Heating and Air has served Southeast Georgia and surrounding communities for more than 15 years. With more than 35 years of industry experience, these licensed and insured heating contractors have the experience and know-how to get your HVAC job done right the first time. Whether you're selecting a new heating or cooling system, repairing an existing system, or you just want lower energy bills and a healthier home, Ogeechee Heating and Air has the service and expertise you're looking for. Call today, 912-739-4035.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. Go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedic and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. And with Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics. Schedule online today.
Looking to level up your brand? Since 1977, Bahama Joe's has been your go-to for custom apparel, promo products, and merch that gets noticed. From screen printing to embroidery to swag that makes a statement, we bring your vision to life. Locally owned, creatively driven, and island-inspired, we've got your back, your shirt, and your brand. Bahama Joe's, branded to stand out. Visit BahamaJoes.com today.
Whether you're cheering from the 50-yard line or your living room couch, Citizens Bank of the South is proud to stand with you in support of the Georgia Southern Eagles. From student checking to home loans, they've got your back, on campus, in their communities, and beyond. Owned and managed by a strong group of Georgia Southern alumni, Team Seabots is fiercely loyal and always bring their best, just like the Eagles. Citizens Bank of the South is banking built for champions. Local, loyal, loud, and proud to be in Sandersville, Statesboro, and Milledgeville. Visit them today at Seabots.com. FDIC insured and an equal opportunity employer.
In a world where everything changes, what do? You find something steady, a comforting hand, a dependable voice, a familiar face, someone who knows your story and your name. At Morris Bank, we've spent generations working to be just that for all of our customers. We've been right here with you through every season, every challenge, and every win. Times will change, but we know some things shouldn't, because it's not just banking, it's belonging, and it's why it pays to bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Say hello to the new Chewy Rhodes Hot Honey Combo, a crispy chicken tender sandwich paired with Mike's Hot Honey, inspired by Georgia Southern defensive lineman Chewy Rhodes. Sweet, spicy, and packed with flavor. Grab yours today, only at Parker's Kitchen. At Parker's Kitchen, we go big, like our huge, crunchy, juicy, never frozen chicken tenders. Piled high in a sandwich or in a meal with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce. Bigger is better at Parker's Kitchen.
Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, just earlier today it was announced Coastal Carolina coming up on November 15th, announced as a 6 p.m. kick at Paulson Stadium for Salute to Service. That means we'll be on the air at 4 from the tailgate lot with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. You can get your tickets, 1-800-GSU-WINS, or visit gseagles.com/tickets. But a lot to do between now and then. It's Hate Week Thursday night up in Boone. 7:30 kickoff, all-time meeting number 41 between the Georgia Southern Eagles and the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Game number 9 of 2025 for both squads. At this time, welcoming your head coach, Clay Helton, to Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Thank you, guys.
We usually get you in your good clothes on Monday, but you're just off the practice field because this is actually the Wednesday of your week. So what'd you guys see this evening?
Yeah, actually working third downs and preparing for that. Had a really good practice, spirited practice with the team, and I'm sorry I stink. I'm just coming in here right off the practice field in my sweats. And, it's a Monday media day, but it's also a Wednesday preparation day.
Over 8 games, with what you've seen, what you've done well, but things that you've needed to work on, how did you use that extra week plus to figure out exactly where you were and what you need to do over the final 4 weeks to close the season the way you did last year?
Yeah, I think, one, you got to look at yourself honestly. I said it in media today, and I'll say it again. Over the last 11 days, we didn't have media last week, and you're sitting there and you're getting a couple questions, and I wanted to address it in the media just to be real honest, to be genuine, that I know that Eagle Nation is angry, not happy, frustrated, but I also wanted everybody to know I am too. I'm angry. The fact of the matter is we lost 2 really hard-fought games that took us out of contention, and that's not our standard, and it never will be our standard. And so you got to look at yourself in the eye and say, you know what, Eagle Nation, I'm sorry. That's my job, is to make sure that each and every year we're at a championship level, and it's not done this year. And I've got to attack that head on. But it's on 2 fronts. The first is attacking the immediate issue, and that's Appalachian State.
Right.
It's still an extremely important game in this world. We always look big picture, we think, further down the road, but right now it's App State, and being able to improve in each and every area to be able to win a big ball game, not only for our kids, but for our fans, our alumni, our university, and doing the things that need to be done to be able to get that accomplished. And then secondly, it's about improving the overall big picture. And I'm so thankful, I said it today, I'm so thankful for Dr. Marrero and Chris Davis for who they are. We assess each and every week where we're at, what we need to improve. That will continue through November and this game especially, and be able to make any change and improvements that are needed to be able to, so we're not in this situation ever again. And I'm beyond confident in our ability to be able to do that. So this week, it's about really for us, taking what, as you look at, you have those 11 days and you say, okay, where do we need to improve? Well, I look at us offensively, and I look and I say, okay, you're third overall in third down conversion, so you're extending drives. You're second in the conference in red zone offense. But all of a sudden, you're not turning the ball over. You're second in fewest turnovers, and you're first in fewest penalties. So you're playing clean football.
Right.
But yet we are sixth in scoring offense. And when I looked at that, I was like, gosh, I want to dive in even deeper. And we are down this year in play count as well as drive opportunities. And it goes back to, I think, what needs to be addressed immediately is being able to stop the run, which will be a hard task this week. Best back in the league is we're going against. But we have to be able to get to better stopping the run to be able to create longer third downs where our third down efficiency is at 51%, which is not good defensively. That provides more opportunity. So we've worked really hard at that this week. I thought we had our best third down practice of the year defensively today. Credit to Brandon Bailey and the staff for working their butts off, and credit to the kids for their effort they're given. But giving more opportunities to our offense. Where do we got to grow offensively? Offensively, it's about being more run efficient. We have a bunch of great stats, like I just mentioned, but we're at 3.9, running the ball, and we need to be at that 5 yard a carry average, which is elite, And so we've worked at that really hard this week. Now we get to go put it to the test in Boone, North Carolina.
Individually, O.J. Arnold is actually top 40 in the country in yards per carry. He's 5.7 a clip, and even though it hasn't been in chunks and in lots of carries, he played really well against Jacksonville State, and there's been times where he's been one of the best players on the field. Those drives that are ending with one first down or fewer, you don't get a chance to feature just how good he has been.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at us in third down efficiency, and we're batting 46.7%, third in the conference. So we're extending drives, but we are making a lot of third and longs when you break it down. And so our first and second down efficiency needs to be even better. I think we've done that in the past couple of games, especially early with tempo and being able to free some lanes up as well as get the ball out in the perimeter. We've pushed the ball down the field better, and we've put ourselves in ball games that way. I'd like to see us continue to be able to have O.J. with that 5 yards per carry, as well as he does as good a job as anybody out of the backfield I've ever had of catching the ball and being able to create extra yards.
We've always discussed how deep the running back room is, and just last time out against Arkansas State, getting Terrence Gibb multiple touches, getting Teo Todd his first career catch. So even though people expect O.J., David, so on and so forth, even JC to a degree, he's become more of a runner over the last few weeks. But to feature those two as well, it gives the defense another thing that they've got to consider.
Yeah, definitely. And we've had to use, because of some injuries, some younger players. And I'm thankful to our staff and those players that we develop from the bottom up. Because you get in this, as you shorten down roster sizes, you're going to have to play freshmen and younger people earlier down the stretch due to injury. And we've had some injuries. But it gave Teo Todd the opportunity to step out there as a redshirt freshman and produce a huge play for us, an explosive play early in that game to be able to set us up in the red zone. We had our freshman defensive tackle make a pick early in the game. That has it. You've looked at Fabo and Jakari Brown and how they've walked out there as young corners, freshmen and redshirt and freshmen, and being able to excel. And that's what you have to be able to do in today's time, is be able to not only count on the vets, but you're going to have to train the young guys to be able to be ready for their opportunity.
Now, the Sun Belt is going to release its injury report for this game this evening, but if you would, it was terrible what happened to Quan McGinney at the end of the first half out in Jonesboro. If you could update us on him. And David Beding is somebody that did not play in last week's game. Could you update us on his status too?
Yeah, Jaquan unfortunately had a season-ending injury where he had surgery. Unfortunately, it was not the ACL. It was the MCL and the PCL, which is the back ligament. The main ligament is the ACL. It's more of a 6-month rehab rather than 9 to 12 months, which we're very fortunate in that case. But he'll be done. Latrell Bullard has his surgery today, which went very well on his foot. He's got some plates and screws in that foot to take care of that fractured bone in there. And then David has some cartilage that is floating in his knee that we're trying to calm down. He's going to have surgery at some point in time. It's no ligament damage. He's got some floating cartilage in there that he's trying to give it his best effort to see if he can come back, and then there'll be a determination once see where he can get to. He's not medically cleared as of right now.
It has a little bit of a 2022 feel with so many guys that have either been out for an extended period of time or those season-ending injuries. But you and I have spoken before that you don't really know what depth is until things start to go wrong. Mm-hmm. But as a coaching staff, do you envision it ever gets to a point where you get so deep in some positions where you just wonder where the production's going to come from?
Yeah, you never know when it's your time. And we always say next man up, and being able to have your opportunity. Heck, you saw it in the World Series the other day with Rojas being able to all of a sudden he hasn't played in about 80 games, and then he gets called up in Game 6. He makes probably 6 of the biggest plays in the World Series history of the game. So you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and that's why you train everybody and try to lift everybody up and get them better. And our kids take that to heart. And you've seen some young kids. I've seen C.J. Allen make plays this year as a young linebacker. You've seen Fabo make some plays as a young person. It was great to see Teo being able to get in there. Weston Bryant, who's played as a freshman. So part of your job is just not focus on the starters, is to focus on everyone and lift everybody up.
And another thing with C.J. Allen, that's not just him playing at linebacker. He's your backup green dot guy, too, so there's even more on him when he does get in the game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you're talking about running the defense and being able to do that. And so credit to him and credit to, Coach Wigg about getting him prepared for those opportunities. And when he stepped in, he's made plays.
We'll come back with more as the Eagles get ready for Appalachian State this Thursday up in Boone. You're listening to Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Eagle Nation, this is Marcus Sack with MESAC Engineering. When we started our full-service engineering firm, there was a lot pulled from Coach Russell's playbook. MESAC Engineering is designed on precision performance with a do-right approach. Whether you're looking for water and wastewater engineering, transportation engineering, or a full suite of land surveying services, MESAC can deliver the right product at the right cost in the least amount of time. My wife Jennifer and I are both Georgia Southern alumni, and MESAC Engineering is proud to be a partner with Georgia Southern Athletics. Visit us online at MESAC.com. Go Eagles!
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagles fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Georgia Southern football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Let's go Eagles! SeatGeek.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Benner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back to the end zone. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
With Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. We'll get Michael Ellis from the Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation up for our next segment, talking about the True Blue Tailgate on Thursday as the Eagles get set to take on Appalachian State. Kid Brewer Stadium in Boone, 7:30 Eastern kick. We're live at 5:30. Reminder that the Sack Company and Georgia Southern Athletics are teaming up for the canned food drive over these next few weeks. Pickup days against LSU, the women's basketball game on Sunday over at the Hill. Volleyball next Thursday against Louisiana, 6 p.m. first serve. That's on the 13th. And then men's basketball at the Hill against Johnson C. Smith. You can bring your canned food items to the Hill. That's a 6 p.m. tip-off. Also, that will conclude with the Coastal Carolina game on the 15th. That's Saturday, which today was announced as a 6 p.m. kick for Salute to Service. And, Coach, you mentioned the self-evaluation piece that takes place even though it's this deep in the season. And something that you have said for years is that you fall back to the level of your training. So it's all about your fundamentals. It really gets down to that at the rudimentary level. But how much do you have to deal with that versus finding the tweaks and finding those adaptations along the way?
Yeah, it's a fine line because obviously you're studying scheme of your opponent, what their strengths are, what you want to try to be able to take away, but you never give up on fundamental and technique. That is the essence of football. Each Tuesday and Wednesday, we commit 20 minutes just to working on fundamentals, and then you go try to take that fundamental individual work and then take it to team. You get off the field, you watch it, and see if you used your fundamentals with live team reps, and then did you take that training to the park in a game. So it's a process throughout the week that's continual, and hopefully you're getting better and better. And I've watched. I'll give a great example, Kebaseka. I've watched him grow as a player, and he's really came down and sat down with me in my office and said, Coach, what can I do better to be a better football player? And I said, concentrate on the process. Concentrate each and every day on trying to get just a little better fundamentally and technique-wise. I said, I want you to come back in here. I want you to write down where you feel like you need to improve. Give me 3 things. He walked in the next day. There were his 3 things that he wanted to improve on. I said, well, we're going to go watch it right afterwards and be right after practice and be able to see, did you take it to the park? I'll be watching it too for you. And so he's done that process, and I've watched him grow in this first year of major contribution of being really turning into a great player for us.
The way that you just phrased that, I want to go to something that actually ties you and Coach Loggins together. That's Sam Darnold. Having coached him at USC, Coach Loggins worked with him during his time at the New York Jets. So you saw him when you were developing him. He saw him as a pro, and you got to talk about him and about what happened last night. He was about as good as he's ever been against the Commanders.
Yeah, you're getting ready for a game, and all of a sudden it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You flip on the score, and it's like 21-0. They're saying he hasn't had an incompletion, but that's part of the development process, and everybody develops within what league you're in. He did it in college, and now it's carried over the NFL. He's had the great opportunity to be with some really good organizations in Minnesota and now Seattle. And I've just watched him grow. I've been so proud for him, so proud for his family. He's always been the most fiercest competitor. He takes coaching, he accepts coaching. He owns it. If he fails, he puts it on him. And he's always been driven to get better. And I've watched him grow. Now I believe 28-year-old man out there and one of the best in the league.
In the vein of always having to stay ready, I can't think that Elijah Fears was walking into last week's game thinking that he was going to have his first career interception, a freshman that has had to play a lot this year due to the injuries on the defensive line. Not only he makes the play, maybe would have been a touchback, maybe not. He comes back out, maybe thinking he was going to give you a safety, but to be on the spot like that, make the play, and then 98-yard drive later, you're up 14-0.
Yeah, I talked to the defense today, and really, looking at the two teams, and right now, we're having our best year of limiting turnovers, second in the league. We're +3 turnover margin, but also, getting those 2 turnovers last week, look at both of them. They both created touchdown opportunities, and really they separated us in the first half 21-10. That was a huge play by a freshman, being able to find the ball, make the play, and getting it back to the offense, as well as a big 4th down. All of a sudden, it's a wet day. The ball isn't handled the right way. Yeah. It goes over the quarterback's head. You got 11 people chasing as hard as they can, and they get the ball back for us on the 35-yard line. So one, we always say the ball is the program. It's our livelihood. And, to be able to have the ball security that we've had offensively and now creating some turnovers defensively, 11 on the year. I wish we were at 16. That's always our mark is 2 per game. But we got the 2 last game. We need to do it again in Boone, North Carolina.
That is an App State team that has turned it over 15 times. That's bottom 30 in the country going into Thursday. JC finishes that short field scoring drive with his 5th rushing touchdown this year. He's already 3rd in the league in passing touchdowns, but incorporating his feet to run for 5 scores, starting to open things up a little bit.
Yeah, you look at the last 2 games, and I think he's really started to make great decisions, especially using his legs. 120 yards rushing in the last 2 games. Obviously, you talked about the touchdown, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, 5 touchdown passes, and most importantly, 0 turnovers at the quarterback position. And so, when you walk into a rivalry game, you can't let anything change. The number 1 job of a quarterback is 1, score, finish drives, but 2, make sure that your ball security is elite. Not only as a runner, but most importantly in your decision-making as a passer. And he's done the things over the last 2 games that you want to see. His decision-making, his timing, his accuracy, and then finishing drives, which we've been really good at. We're 3rd in the league right now in red zone offense, and having that ability to finish drives is ultra important.
The feeling of a rivalry week, in this case an arch rival in App State, playing for the 41st time Georgia Southern has played nobody more than they've played the Mountaineers. How do you strike the balance between I want to do this as hard as I can with still it is just 1 game on the schedule in the grand scheme?
Yeah, I wish I could say it's just 1 game, but it's them. And we know how important that beating them is. The first game I ever was a part of this great rivalry, I saw the importance to both fan bases. I saw 2 teams just fight as hard as they can to go to double overtime and get a win in Statesboro, Georgia. I saw what it meant not only to our players, but our administration, our community, most importantly. I've watched a team, probably the best thing that's happened to us, to be honest with you. I can't tell you how much they put in those last 2 games, how hard they fought in those last 2 games against 2 good teams, 2 teams that are sitting at the top of the West and came up just short. And that can take a lot out of you. And the good thing that's happened to us, 1, we've had 11 days to get through it, but also a rivalry game to be able to get your juices back up and get ready to fight again.
In between the 2 games in California, of course, it was a bus ride from Fresno to USC, but this is the first road game where you've taken a bus to get to your destination. I think the team's going to be going through Charlotte before they get up to Boone on Thursday, but how does having a longer week with a shorter prep factor in when you've got that extra day that you've got to take away just to get to your spot?
Yeah, we were able to steal 2 days last week, Thursday and Friday, and we game planned on Monday and Tuesday, got the team body ready with a great lift on Wednesday, presented the game plan on Wednesday, and then took it to the field Thursday and Friday and really stole 2 days. Sunday was a Tuesday practice for us, a very physical, full pad practice. Today was 3rd downs. And you look at it and you go, okay, here we go. Tomorrow's a Thursday. When it's actually Tuesday, we get to play Thursday night on national TV against a rival opponent where both teams are fighting to try to get to postseason play in a very important game. It's the first game in November. And like I've told the team, they remember what you do in November. So let's start it off the right way.
When we come back from this timeout, we'll talk with Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation member Michael Ellis, getting ready for the True Blue Tailgate, as well as some special events coming up for Eagle Nation. This is Hail Southern live from Wild Wing Cafe on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
For 79 years, Braswell Food Company has been crafting delicious specialty products with a commitment to quality and family tradition. Our top-selling red pepper jelly is a sweet, spicy delight made with only the finest ingredients. Perfect for appetizers, glazes, or your favorite recipes. From our family to yours, Braswell's brings time-honored recipes and premium quality to every jar. Taste the tradition with America's top-selling and award-winning jams, dressings, sauces, and mustards. Braswell's is available at grocers nationwide or visit our website, www.braswells.com.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste. Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanut! Get your peanut!
Since 1945, the Sack Company has established its reputation by safely providing high-quality construction services. The Sack Company consistently demonstrates the highest level of professionalism, safety, and attention to details. Their hands-on experience in all phases of construction assure that you will get quality performance in a timely and cost-effective method. Accountability, care, excellence, innovation, integrity, safety, teamwork. The Sack Company. We bring business to life.
At Tidewater Equipment Company in Brooklyn, we understand how important every hour is when you're farming. We have an exceptional parts and service department, an extensive used equipment inventory, and we are exclusive distributors of Case IH tractors, planters, sprayers, combine balers, and more. We're here for everything you need when it comes to agriculture. Visit Tidewater in Brooklyn or online at TidewaterEquip.com, your premier Case IH tractor dealer. To those who work in acres, not ours, we thank you.
There's a science to preparing your home for hurricane season in coastal Georgia and South Carolina.
And Window World is here to help. Our impact-rated windows and doors are tough and tested to protect your home from damaging wind, debris, and rain. Right now, take advantage of special financing with no interest if paid in full within 15 months. Call for your free consultation today. Window World of coastal Georgia and South Carolina.
Your local hurricane impact specialist.
Next time you need a dozer, a light tower, a scissor lift, or any other job site supplies, call Yancey Rents at 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com and get the best maintained equipment in Georgia. With 17 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Again, that's 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com.
BBWH Insurers, owned and operated by Georgia Southern alumni, has been serving Southeast Georgia since 1888. Our partnerships with quality A-plus rated carriers such as the Central Mutual Insurance Companies provide affordable and comprehensive coverage for your family and business. BBWH Insurers protects and supports our own. That's our true blue promise to you. Call me, Ashley Ellis, at 912-764-9602 or visit us online at bbwhins.com. And go Eagles!
It's football time, which turns Thursday and Sunday into the best days of the week. Well, they just got better, because now through October 26th, Keno has 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Win $500, it becomes $650. That's like getting extra field goal points for scoring a touchdown. So play Keno online and anywhere Keno is sold and get 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. and Sundays 1 to 3 p.m. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Coach Helton will rejoin us in just a couple of moments to talk about those Appalachian State Mountaineers. It is Hate Week. It is Thursday up in Boone, 7:30 Eastern kick. We're live at 5:30 with the Cutwater Spirits tailgate show from Kidd Brewer Stadium. We promise the Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation, and we give you the Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation. Please welcome, just promoted, the Associate AD for Development, Michael Ellis, to Wild Wing Cafe.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming by tonight.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. Voice of the Eagles.
Well, especially with a True Blue tailgate coming up on Thursday. I got to think that there's a lot that needs to get taken care of between now and Thursday.
Yeah, we've got a lot to take care of. It should be a really good event. South End Brewing, about 3 o'clock on Thursday with cold beer, good food, even better fans there getting ready for the game at 7.
Now, that's a collective effort with the alumni office, and we've talked about the ones before with Arkansas State, also with the True Blue tailgate that took place out at USC. What's that process like where you two have to work together to get the best product created?
Oh, we have a great relationship with the University Foundation and our alumni office, just trying to get people engaged, and however we can do that, through different events, through outreach in the community. We work well together.
With you just getting promoted, with Chance just getting hired, with Terry moving over from Learfield to take over the Office of Development and the Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation, how much more important has it been to make sure that the messaging gets out there?
Oh, it's critical. We think about that every day in our Monday meetings, thinking about through social media, through email, through text, through engagement one-on-one with folks, how we can be really clear messengers or deliverers of our message that, through whether it's EVP or in those 5 buckets to competitive excellence, Eagle Nation Fund revenue sharing, Irk Russell Fund, sports-specific gifts, and then competitive excellence. If we can make those really clear for our fans so they understand how they can help us and how all 5 of those have an impact not only on the student athlete experience, but on wins and losses and how the poor performances on the field. That's our big MO.
And it's so important now, whether it's the money that's going directly in the pockets of the student athletes through the Eagle Nation Fund, or making people realize that your ticket purchase is terrific, but knowing exactly where that money goes relative to how it helps Georgia Southern Athletics and really the university as a whole.
Absolutely. It creates buy-in. So whether it's through your time or your knowledge or going to games, you can help us in so many variety of ways, and we want to make that really clear to our fans. Yes.
All right, Irk's Perks, what can you tell me about how that's gone so far?
We're growing. We're growing about 15 partners now. It's going really well. I think people have seen a lot of value in it because it's really kind of a niche thing we have here. We base it off of a couple of different schools. We brought it to Statesboro that you can get a lot of value in being an Irk Russell Fund member, and you get to hear our messaging, but also get some pretty cool discounts around town, while also engaging those businesses around town that they can help Georgia Southern in so many different ways, but this being one of them.
Just last week, it was announced that In the Round will take place on the 14th. That is the day before Coastal Carolina. That'll be over at the Neesmith Lane Ballroom right after men's basketball takes on Johnson C. Smith at the Hill. That's been moved out to a 6 p.m. tip, so people can double dip if they are able. And then in the spring, Gata Jam has become such a big deal in conjunction with softball and baseball season. Proceeds benefiting the Eagle Nation Fund. That's going to be March 7th over at Eagle Creek.
Yeah, we're really excited about all 3 events. They have a tremendous impact on wherever we would like those to go, but usually revenue sharing, we can have an impact on the performances on the field. In the Round is going to be awesome. I think it's one of our best events every year. Everybody has a really good time when they're leaving, and the next days they talk about it at the game when I see them, because it's always on the Friday leading up to an event. Tiger Lily Gold, Corey Smith, Tyler Farr, Cole Goodwin. It's going to be an awesome night. Tickets and tables are still available, but we're getting pretty close to selling out, and it'll be pretty neat to see them.
Well, don't stop there. Give yourself a plug. How can people get single tickets? How can people get a table?
They can get on gseagles.com/tickets, and you can go there, and it's one of the first things that pops up is In the Round. And we have plated dinner, drink tickets, live auction, silent auction items, really cool stuff this year. We got really cool experiences we're going to have in the live auction piece. It should be a really fun night.
When you're all sitting around the table and figuring out, okay, how can we appeal to Eagle Nation, but also do so where it's not just a memory, but it is an experience? How do you narrow down what you think people are going to have memorable experiences with?
Well, I think with an experience piece, when you get attached to not just a school and giving or going to games, we can create more unique niche experiences for you. Whether it's with coaches, with players, like Hoops and Scoops last week. Some of those kids are going to remember those things forever. Like shooting with the team, or the kids that got pulled out to do the challenges. They're going to remember those things and they stick. And then it becomes I want to go to a game with mom and dad and go see Hannah. I want to go see Charlie and the boys play. And then for In the Round, some of the going to see 4 really up-and-coming country artists in the pack in a really intimate environment is pretty neat. You don't get to do that anywhere else. I don't know anywhere else in the country that does that brings these performances to you. And then Gata Jam, what a cool way, starting with Cole, to bring a large outdoor concert venue here, and it's pretty cool.
Also having an opportunity in your position to feature the developments that have taken place with new facilities on campus. It was the Tippins facility. Then you move over to the Jack and Ruth Ann Hill Convocation Center. It is still less than a year old. It was December that it opened up. We're still coming up on a year on that. But then this spring with the opening over at J.I. Clements Stadium of the Steverson family facility. And not only there to help people create more memories, but knowing exactly what it took to get all of those done.
Absolutely. Well, all of those have a tremendous impact on the kind of the wow factor when you walk around Statesboro. Like all these cranes going up in the air is a good thing at Georgia Southern.
Yes.
And it leads to when the really key factors in the recruitment of a transfer kid or high school kid, when they walk on campus and they see these big time facilities there, it just makes that decision to come here even easier for them, because across the board was a relationship with the head coaches, support staff, the assistants, nutrition, strength and conditioning, academics. You get people pour their lives into helping these kids develop, and it's pretty neat. And then we can tack on the facilities on top of that. It makes that decision, because this is a 40-year decision where the 17, 18-year-olds realize that it's a 40-year decision to come to college, and it's a damn good one to come to Statesboro.
You were a college athlete, but in your current position, how much game watching do you get to do now?
Way more than I used to, honestly.
Okay.
Like in film, you talking about?
Go back, but I'm talking live. I know you're trying to highlight the experience for whatever fan or donor you're with, but being able to actually watch the game, not just through the eye of an athlete, but also through the eye of the associate AD of development.
Oh, you watch them way differently now. I used to, when I was in college, we had I went to school, had a great football atmosphere just like here. You might be getting into the game a little bit late. You were, having a good time before the game, and you're just watching for the, you were kind of wide-eyed, didn't really know what was going on. But now when you're here, you have such appreciation for what goes on behind the scenes to make a game day happen, and you're watching things a little more critically. It's part of growing up and being able to see what goes into making Statesboro so special on a game day.
True Blue Tailgate coming up this Thursday in Boone. South End Brewing in the High Country at 3 p.m. If you have any questions and you're in attendance, you can visit with Michael before we close up tonight. The new Associate AD for Development, Michael Ellis, appreciate your time. Safe travels. We'll catch up in Boone.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Coach Clay Helton will join us one more time. We'll talk about those App State Mountaineers. We'll do it after this timeout as Hail Southern Live continues, powered by Learfield.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Hey, Eagles fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Georgia Southern football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Let's go Eagles! SeatGeek.
Next time you need a dozer, a light tower, a scissor lift, or any other job site supplies, call Yancey Rents at 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com and get the best maintained equipment in Georgia. With 17 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Again, that's 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35, 40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back to the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACTA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Great to visit with Michael Ellis from the Athletic Foundation. About 5 minutes left on this week's Hail Southern Live. Great news from the Jack and Ruth Ann Hill Convocation Center. Less than 5 minutes to go in the season opener. Georgia Southern women hammering Central Michigan 83-63, shooting 73% from the field this half. He scored 35 points in the third quarter as Hannah Hayden looks to go 1-0 for the second straight season. App State is this Thursday for Eagle football. 7:30 kickoff. A reminder that because of the dispute with YouTube TV, if that's how you get your ESPN, you will not be able to watch the game that way, so you're going to have to make other arrangements. You can come to Wild Wing Cafe on Thursday. It'll be on these flat screens. You can show up that way, or you can tune us in starting at 5:30 on the network via the Varsity Network app with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. It's a rivalry. It's hate week for a reason. But as you have transitioned from what it was like USC Notre Dame, your experience with Auburn, Alabama, when it's App State and you know that you're Georgia Southern, that has a way of getting you going.
Yeah, it's special. You know, it's one of those long-lasting rivalries that's so special to college football, and both venues are awesome. You know, we don't like each other very much. We compete like heck against each other, and it's just a special game. You know, and really, if you look at the recent history, it's been about the home team, and we got a huge challenge of trying to change that. And it's been 4 wins at home for each team at home, and you know the last team to win up there is 2019. From 2007 through now, it's been one time, and so it's an unbelievable challenge for our team in a place where we dearly need it, and we've got a sense of urgency to go get it done.
And just for kicks, that's the last time this game was played on a Thursday night, that 2019 battle where Georgia Southern went to Boone and beat a ranked App State team 24-21, and it is daunting with just one victory up there since 2007, just 4 wins all time at Kid Brewer, but it's also quite the opportunity to say you could be the next one.
Yeah, you get to show who you are, and that's what we talked about earlier with the kids. You know, when you face adversity, you get to truly see who you are and what you're made of. And here we go, you know, in an important game for both teams for postseason play, with both teams needing it, and got a little bit of extra pride on the line for the next 365 days.
A little earlier on, you mentioned that App State has the leading rusher in the league. It's Arkansas's transfer, Rashad Dubinion. He battled injury during his time out in Fayetteville. That's how Dow Loggins found him, being the tight end's assistant there in 21 and 22. Leading the league in rushing because he breaks so many tackles. He's solidly built at 210 pounds. What's the extra challenge of not just hitting him, but making sure that he doesn't get past you?
Yeah, you really got to game tackle this guy because the one-on-one tackle that you see at the line of scrimmage, he's usually breaking through. You know, he's a guy that's a chain mover. They hand it to him. They're 133 rushing yards a game, but the majority his yards. And it creates great balance within their offense. You know, they're averaging throwing it 41 times a game between the two quarterbacks, and he provides the balance that gets the advantage coverages for the passing game to open up really good receivers or slot receivers, second and touchdown catches on the year in the conference. And so it's a good mix, and you have to be able to be really, really good on first and second down to try to get them in 3rd and 7+, because that's where the errors have come from them. You know, they've had 20 sacks on the year. You talked about the interceptions, 9. A lot of those are happening on 3rd and longs. So we got to be able to get to where our pass rush can get some freedom on those longer down and distances.
And you referenced Jaden Barnes with those 6 touchdown receptions, the transfer from FCS Austin Peay. The 2 guys on the outside, Dalton Stroman's averaging 18 yards a catch for his career. Davion Dozier, another Arkansas transfer, he's averaging 22 yards a catch. He did miss some time earlier this year because of injury, but he has scored a touchdown in each of the last 4 games. But something that Eagle Nation has come to know about App State's receivers, if they're not catching the football, they're the best in the league at drawing pass interference.
Yeah, they do a great job of you know, causing penalties because they are elite route runners. And so we've got to continue doing what we're doing. We're the least penalized team in the league right now, but and so we have to have that discipline carried against some really good players on the road. We got to keep our emotions in check, but we also got to keep the discipline of not getting penalties.
You're down a couple of guys on the defensive line. They're down 3 starters on the offensive line. They had 2 guys go down during that loss to Coastal Carolina. I know that in a conventional way would say, well, just send extra heat because they're playing in a way 3 backups. But how do you have to protect yourselves while still being aggressive?
Yeah, they got 2 elite passers, that both can spin the ball really well, and they have really talented receivers. So it'll be a chess match, between Coach Loggins and between Coach Bailey of being able to mix it up, because I don't know you can just walk up there and play man each and every snap against them, because they're going to win, and they like to push the ball down the field. So you're really going to have to mix it up with your pressures, with your man coverage, with your fire zone pressures, to be able to try to stop a really good runner while protecting your secondary.
It comes up invariably, not just every week, but especially when these 2 get together. It feels like something happens that you've never seen before, but it seems like almost every time they play, it's something in special teams that has a factor in this game.
Yeah, I remember our first year how big special teams was in that game, and each and every year it seems like, there's a huge special teams play. We commit a lot of time to special teams each and every week. I think Coach Wilson has done a phenomenal job of carrying on what Coach West did last year. We've had a really good year of special teams, bringing on a freshman kicker that has just been lights out. Obviously one of the best punters in our conference. Our coverage units have been doing a really good job, and we've improved our return units this year. So special teams are going to be a big piece of it.
Coach, we appreciate the time getting ready for this one, Chapter 41 in Deeper Than Hate. Thanks so much. Safe travels to Boone, and best of luck on Thursday night.
Thank you, Danny. Hail Southern.
That's head coach Clay Helton for Michael Ellis and for Morgan McCafferty, as well as Chris Halfholder back in our studios. Danny Reed signing off from Wild Wing Cafe. We will talk to you Thursday night up in Boone, 7:30 Eastern, kick on ESPN2. Broadcast begins at 5:30 on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. You've been listening to Hail Southern live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Enjoy Statesboro's tastiest wings at Wild Wing Cafe.